Why do people make negative comments? This is what I'm going to dive into today, and I'll tell you why. I have a boyfriend, and his name is Charles Pam, and he is a really beautiful musician, very, very talented artist and music producer. And he is doing a really brave, bold, and inspiring thing. He's putting himself and his music and his skills out into the world without fear and with pure confidence, which is such a beautiful thing. But every now and then, as he showed me this morning, he gets a really negative comment on one of his videos and he handles them so beautifully. He really laughs them off and he has a really good tactic for dealing with them. But it made me feel really inspired to talk about why do people leave negative comments? And we've seen them. People can be so incredibly harsh, cruel, and unkind. And this is a very sensitive topic for me. And I even feel nervous speaking about it because one of my biggest fears of putting myself out there is attracting negativity and judgment, which is really pulling on that core wound of being abandoned by your community, by society, and left out in the cold. And it really triggers that unworthiness of I'm not worthy, I'm not enough, and people can see through that. So this is why I wanted to talk about it. And if you don't know me, I work a lot with emotional healing, very, very deep into the subconscious, pulling out traumas and old beliefs and patterns and behaviors that are embedded within from past lives, from soul contracts, from other dimensions. And this is the joy of the work that I do. But I'm also incredibly interested in human behavior and commenting something cruel, negative, or unkind on someone's Instagram post or YouTube post or Facebook post, whatever it is really interesting. And I'm curious, why do people do that? So if you're like me and you have a fear of coming out into the world for fear of judgment and negativity and scrutiny, then this is going to be interesting. And maybe you're someone who has received those kind of comments before. And this is very, very particular for people who have fives in their soul contract. Fives are here to speak up and tell the truth. My boyfriend has fives. So do I. It's in my karma, which makes it a little bit of a challenge because I also have eights. And if you haven't seen the video about the dynamic between the five and the eight energy, I put it down below so you can check that out. The fives want to speak up, the eights want to keep the peace, the sevens want to stay safe. That's another number I'm just going to chuck into the mix. So there is a lot going on around putting ourselves out there and the energy that we attract relating to the fears that we hold within us. So why do people post negative comments? The first reason is that they are truth sayers, and some people do not have a filter, and they will say whatever comes into their mind without thought, without understanding, and without empathy. And this is the first group of people. They will just say it how it is. And this is not an empathetic or kind energy. It's a harsh energy because they probably grew up with people telling them how it was. I can't imagine that if you come from a kind, loving, and soft background where you've been raised, with both parents teaching you the value of kindness, that you would ever feel the need to say something negative on someone's post. But there are people who have had really tough childhoods and it's been pretty harsh and pretty rough and pretty raw. And so commenting negatively, it's not such a big deal. It's like, don't be such a snowflake. Handle it. Handle the negativity. That's the first group of people. They just don't have that filter. They cannot put themselves in your shoes and think, oh my gosh, I'm someone who's taken that really brave step of putting myself and my work out into the world. And oh my God, someone's just shat all over me in the comments. They're like, handle it. Come on, don't be so pathetic. That is the energy, and that is where they're coming from. So once you have a deeper understanding of this group of people, it's like, okay, they've had a pretty rough background in order to not have that empathy with someone who is sharing themselves out with the world, and which takes a lot of courage and bravery. They don't empathize. So that's the first group of people. The second group of people are the ones who are unconsciously triggered by you. And this is something that's spoken about a lot. It's when your light mirrors back at them their dimness, and they cannot take it. They do not like it. They cannot handle it. And so they push back. Instead of walking into the mirror and embracing their own unworthiness issues, they will smash the mirror in order not to see what is reflected back to them. And this is a very unconscious behavior. They are conscious of what they're doing, but they don't know why they're doing it. They just think, I want to bring that person down, because that is way easier than rising up to the challenge of working through the shit within me that makes me feel unworthy. And when I see someone doing something with confidence, that makes me feel really crap about myself, because I don't feel worthy deep, deep within, although they're not conscious of that. So it is easier for me to bring that person down to my level than to rise up to theirs. And even I have this. I get challenged and triggered by people who are doing really beautiful things in the world. It's so incredibly normal, but I am conscious of it. And I would never in my wildest dreams want to bring someone down to rise myself up. And the irony is, when you bring someone down, you go nowhere. Your vibration stays where it is. You stay where you are. You do not progress in life. You do not gain consciousness. You do not raise your frequency, you bring it down. So the very thing that you're wanting to do is feel inherently worthy and loved. You are doing an action that creates the very opposite energy coming into the universe, and you get stuck in that freaking vicious cycle. You can tell I'm passionate about this. Vicious cycle of pulling other people's down to feel better. You feel worse, and so you pull other people down again, and you feel worse. Can you see where it's going? So, when you have a bright energy, you will repel people unconsciously, and they will want to attack you for it. Second group of people. Now, there is a third group. This is the nastiest group. These are people who consciously know what they're doing when they comment negative things on your post or on your work. They are on the spectrum of what I call emotional manipulators, energy vampires, narcissists, sociopaths, and psychopaths. That beautiful spectrum of people who are out there in the world causing absolute chaos and devastation purposefully. And they take joy in bringing people down. They take pleasure in making someone else feel shit. They are purely conscious of what they're doing. There's nothing unconscious about their behavior. They know exactly what they're doing, and they take great joy in doing it. And you're never going to win with these people. There is nothing to win, but you're never going to win against them. You're never going to outsmart them. They will take great pleasure in trying to tangle you and keep you in this horrible low frequency where they reside. And so you just have to shut and block and cut off, and then you do not feed them. And it's hard, how do you know who's just saying it as it is because that's what, their background is? Who's saying it because they're getting triggered, and who's saying it just for the joy of saying it? That is up for you and your discernment. But I hope now that you have a little bit of clarity around what negative comments are, the breeding ground for them, and when you have deeper levels of self-awareness, you can move through that with more grace and ease. That person commented because they're having a bad day and I make them feel worse about themselves. And maybe we can, if we choose, not to see it as a reflection on our own value, because it's not. It's never about us. It is always about them. And you can move through your life and your day with a bit more joy and appreciation for yourself and the beautiful things that you're doing. So Keep putting yourself out there. Keep doing beautiful things. Keep expanding your beautiful, joyful aura because you are making the world a better place through whatever it is that you are doing. And if you like this kind of stuff, subscribe, stay in touch. Otherwise, I wish you a really beautiful, expansive, and joyful rest of your day.